Hey everyone, it's October 28th, Wednesday, and I wanted to do this video to help remind and refresh you about all the tips and tricks you can use, especially if your class or you go into a distance learning situation, so that you have some refreshers, I guess, because I know that we haven't been using it a lot in that full capacity. So I'm going to start and watch. If you would like, it's probably going to be between 10 and 11 minutes long. Sorry, I need a drink. All right, so you can see right away that Charlie is in my Zoom meeting room, so I'm going to let Charlie the dog in. Charlie is my Australian Shepherd, very bright, obviously, since he can join Zoom meetings. All right, I'm going to go through a bunch of things, and I think that if none of this is new to you, I apologize, but it's going to be very helpful. So above Charlie, where I have his name here, when you hover on top of any of your students' names, a bunch of options show up under these blue 3 dots. First is one to ask to start the video. Some of our teachers that are on distance learning right now are having kids enter the room without their videos on and just managing it that way because they're a little bit rambunctious on the videos right away. You can also click right on that blue dot and chat. You could also rename, which is probably going to be a great feature because K123 with the iPads, sometimes their screen names will show up as their iPad name, like BL23, and you can rename them, given all your time during a Zoom. But I have an idea for you. PIN, people are asking me what PIN means. PIN means if Charlie was a student that you really wanted to have on your screen visible at all times, he doesn't get moved around because Zoom just shuffles kids in when they come in. It's not alphabetical, but you could pin him and then he would show up at the top of your screen always. This is going to be very important, not really make the host, but make co-host. This would be a really great feature for you to add. So if this name was Donna Kosek and I wanted her to also be a host, I would click and I would make her the co-host. That would be a great feature for any specialists or special ed, social workers, whoever it might be, your paras, to be the co-host. That way they can be monitoring the chat, they can be kind of solving problems on the side, so you can just continue teaching. That would be a great thing to do. You can remove kids if you'd like. Report, whatever. You can also put Charlie back in the waiting room. If Charlie is really out of control and not really paying attention, if somebody else is a co-host, they could be like, you know what, Charlie just needs a little time out in the waiting room. You can put him back in there and then allow him back in. Hide non-video participants. Use it if you want. I've never used it. So that's all of the options under these blue 3 dots. Okay. Now, the view up here in the top right corner, this is for just the teacher side. You can have it as the speaker view or gallery view or full screen. Choose what you like, okay? Down here under the mute and the caret, we learned a lot about the sound settings at the beginning of the school year. Every time before I make a recording or do anything, I test the speaker and microphone, except the first time I made this video. The first time I made it, I did not do that, and it was entirely no audio, so learn my lesson again. Test speaker and microphone, just do it. Okay, video, we know how to stop the video. There really aren't a whole lot of other options here. Your other webcam will come up, and then they'll probably say like iLogic or something like that, and also your FlexCam. Okay, security is a button you probably haven't clicked on. It is really kind of a quick, down and dirty way to do to control some of the participants. A lot of these settings show up in a lot of different places. So some people might be telling you that it's here or there. It serves the same purpose. So under security, you can lock the meeting if you want. Once all your kids are in, you can lock it if you choose to. Definitely enable the waiting room if you want to. Middle school and high school teachers are using that as a way to take attendance. So once they admit a kid, they'll mark them as present. That might be a good management tool. If you want your participants to share their screens, totally up to you. If you want them to be able to chat, rename themselves, unmute themselves, etc. Okay, that's one spot you could do that quickly. Under participants, what's going to happen is when you click on the word participants, the white panel will come up over here. I see myself and Charlie. I can also invite more people down here at the bottom, and I can also do this lovely, lovely thing, mute all. When you are in the throes of teaching and you're trying not to click on every single person, just remember, click on the participants tab and then mute all. Okay, I'm going to do a student view video next, but on the student view, very important, when they click on participants, it'll say invite, mute all, or raise hand. When they raise their hand, their little hand will come up by their name. Okay, might be a feature you want to try. All right, so I'm going to close the participants tab by just closing it. All right, you know what chat is. So say I'm in my lesson and I notice that kids are chatting inappropriately or saying silly, goofy, whatever, non-things. You don't even need to say that's not well, I guess you could, but quickly just jump over to security and turn the chat off. And then the next thing will be they don't understand why the chat's off, and geez, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to skip share screen because that's the most important one and presents most problems, but it's also one of the most effective tools we can use. Recording, you know what that's for. Breakout rooms. If you haven't used these are awesome. If I was teaching this year, I would definitely use breakout rooms. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I only have Charlie in my meeting room. So if you had 20 students, you open up breakout rooms and you can decide how many breakout rooms you want. So if I had, 20 kids, maybe I would want 5 breakout rooms. It will assign the kids automatically to breakout rooms, which is fine. You can also decide where you want them. If, say, you had lit circles or something like that. Let participants choose the room. I haven't ever done that, but you could. So I'm going to create this, and of course, it's only going to create 1 breakout room, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to open all rooms. Now, what happens on the student side is on their screen, it'll pop up and say, the host is inviting you to breakout room 1, and then they can join. So I'm going to go over here and join. So Charlie just left. Now you can see it's just me because Charlie left the big room, your classroom, and went out in the hall to the breakout room. Okay. And this I can click broadcast message to all, whatever I want them to do, and I can broadcast that on the student screen. It'll tell them exactly what I just said. Okay. I can also join this breakout room. So there'll be room 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can pop in and join the room and pop back out. Okay. It's just like sending a group out to the hallway or to another room, or extremely effective use of this would be to use that with your specialists, your paras, your special education teachers, the social workers. Group those kids out in their own meeting room and they can have their conversation that way. That would be really useful. And then once I close rooms, what will happen is they'll get an announcement on their screen that says breakout rooms will close in 56 seconds. And what Charlie can do is he can click return to the main session. You'll see Charlie pop in here. And then the kids have 56 seconds to finish their conversations and get back to the room. If they don't, they'll just be shoved back into the main room again. Try the breakout rooms. They're really kind of cool. We're talking about more student motivation, more student engagement. Definitely a tool, especially when you're kind of hovering in and popping in around. So, all right, back down here. Reactions, give this video a thumbs up because it actually worked this time, or do whatever you want. I don't use reactions, but have at it. And then end, you know what that is. Okay, so I'm going to close this little part. Sharing the screen is going to be one thing I really want to spend a little bit of time on because this is going to be extremely valuable for you. Okay, there is a caret right here, this little thing. If you click on that, you can allow everyone in the room to share their screen. Students might not even try it or know they can, but you definitely would want that for anybody else, any other adult that is in the room to have that option. High school and middle school kids, I allowed kids to share their screens. They absolutely loved having that control. That was pretty fun, okay? When you click share screen, what is going to happen is most often what you are going to be sharing is you're going to share your desktop, which would involve all of your tabs for your screen. like your math lessons, your spelling lessons, phonics, whatever you're doing with anything, math, music, phy-ed, any of that, you'll just be sharing, okay? Exactly like that. But before you do this, and this is really important, before you do that, you need to click this share computer sound, because a lot of people are sharing, say, a Savas, if that's how you pronounce it, video out of math, and the kids are like, I can't hear that, because that's exactly how they sound. You need to click this button because it needs to know what it's supposed to do. So why Zoom put that in that spot? I don't know. Maybe they were feeling like the Grinch that day. So share computer sound. You can click this one too. I don't know what it does, but supposedly it's supposed to optimize screen sharing, but apparently it doesn't. We don't know. So share your screen. Great. Wonderful. I can share any one of these screens that are on here, especially this one, the whiteboard. This is not your whiteboard in your classroom. So when you are distance learning or hybrid learning or whatever you might be doing, this is a great feature. So click on whiteboard and share. And these controls are floating controls. You can just drag and drop them wherever you want. This is a great, awesome tool for you to use with your kids. There's drawing, there's, whoopsie, I guess I need to select something. You know, kind of like a collaborative view board. You can save it, you can clear all the drawings, you can undo it, you can do whatever, like amazing things with this little tool. So check that out. Okay. Whenever the controls go away, you just hover over the green and red little strip here and you'll have that option as well. Okay, so right now you can see that I'm in whiteboard. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing that. Back to Charlie and I. So I decided that Charlie is doing much better with it. I think he's going to be able to come back into the room, so I'm just going to click back on here. I'm going to ask him to start his video. The screen will pop up on his and it says, please start your, or ask you to start my video, then he can start his video, okay? Which I guess we could do, because then you will get, hold on. You will get the side of my head doing that. Okay, so we're going to stop video on Charlie. Okay, all right. I think that we have covered all of the teacher side of Zoom with the tips and the tricks. Just remember, muting and stopping their screens, anything you want to try to stop, either click on that security button or click directly on their name with these three blue dots, or you could even click on things under participants. But I know when we're in the throes of teaching and, you know, we have parents sitting at home next to their kids and we just really want to teach, I get that. So hopefully this helped you minimize those distractions that are happening during Zooms. All right, have a great day.